Have you ever thought about how immense a woman's power can be? So immense that she can defeat even the most powerful demon of all three worlds. The one whom gods, humans, and even the Trinity could not defeat was struck down by a goddess with her trident. This is the story of Mahishasura Mardini, where the most terrible battle between good and evil took place. Today, we will learn why Goddess Durga had to fight this fierce battle and how she saved the entire creation. Aigiri Nandini Stotra, which was composed by Adi Shankaracharya through his profound penance and devotion, has in every word a wonderful confluence of Goddess Durga's immense power, compassion, and rage. When millions of devotees recite this stotra during the holy days of Navratri, it feels as if that divine moment has come alive again when the goddess defeated Mahishasura with her trident. So let's dive deep into this great tale today and understand why this battle was so important. The origin of Mahishasura is connected to a unique and mysterious story. The name Mahishasura itself means a buffalo-like demon. But have you ever wondered how a buffalo could become such a powerful demon? Behind this lies a deep story filled with love, sacrifice, and curse. Long ago, there was a princess whose name was Shamala. She was extremely beautiful and virtuous. But unfortunately, due to a curse, she had to take the form of a buffalo and was forced to spend her life in a water body.
This curse was a terrible torment for her, but destiny had something else in store. One day, a powerful demon named Rambha was passing by that water body. When his eyes fell on Shamala, he was captivated by her form. Although Shamala was in the cursed form of a buffalo, Rambha saw something in her that attracted him. Rambha loved her and married her. This love was not ordinary. This was the unbreakable love of a demon who could accept his beloved in any form. Rambha was not just an ordinary demon. He was extremely ambitious and powerful. He had performed severe penance to Agni Dev, such penance that lasted for years. Pleased with his penance, Agni Dev gave him a special boon, a son who would have the ability to rule over all three worlds. This boon was a great achievement for Rambha, and he held high hopes for his future son. But as often happens, the games of fate are sometimes very cruel. One day, a jealous buffalo, who perhaps held enmity with Rambha due to Shamala's former form or some other reason, challenged Rambha to a terrible fight. This fight was so deadly that in the end, Rambha died. When Shamala received the news of her beloved husband's death, her heart broke. This was unbearable for her. Rambha was the only person who had given her love and respect even in her cursed form. To show this deep sorrow and her love and devotion towards her husband, Shamala took a difficult decision. She resolved to self-immolate on Rambha's pyre. This practice, which was considered a symbol of the highest devotion and sacrifice of wives in that time. When Shamala gave up her life, something miraculous happened. From the ashes of her and Rambha's love, sacrifice and martyrdom, from those very ashes, a child was born. But this was no ordinary child. This child was half human and half buffalo, Mahishasura. His very origin reflected his uniqueness. He embodied both his mother Shamala's buffalo form and his father Rambha's demonic power. He knew that defeating the gods would not be easy, so he made a plan. He knew that if he had to become invincible, he would need divine powers. Therefore, he decided that he would perform severe penance and obtain a boon from the Creator himself. Mahishasura went to the high peaks of mountains, and there he started severe penance to Lord Brahma. His penance was so difficult and firm that the entire universe trembled with the intensity of his penance. For years, he remained absorbed only in the meditation of Brahmaji without eating, drinking, or sleeping. Finally, pleased with his penance, Lord Brahma appeared before him. Brahmaji said, "I am pleased with your penance. Ask, what do you want?" Mahishasura immediately said, O Creator, grant me the boon of immortality. I never want to die. Brahmaji said with a gentle smile, This is not possible. According to the laws of the universe, whoever takes birth, their death is certain. I cannot give the boon of immortality to anyone. Ask for something else.
Mahishasur thought for a moment. He was clever and immediately found another way. He said, If immortality is not possible, then give me such a boon that my death cannot happen at the hands of any man. No human should be able to kill me, no God, and not even the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu or Mahesh. If I have to die, then let me die only at the hands of a woman. While saying this, there was a cunning smile on Mahishasur's face. His reasoning was very clever. He thought that women are physically weak and are not skilled in the art of warfare. The possibility of being killed by a woman is almost zero, and in this way he would become virtually immortal. Lord Brahma heard his words and said, So be it. Your death will be only at the hands of a woman. No man, God or Trinity will be able to kill you. Saying this, Brahmaji disappeared. Having received this boon, Mahishasur's happiness knew no bounds. He felt that now he was almost immortal. An ocean of ego and pride surged within him. He started considering himself omnipotent. He thought, now who can stop me?
I will become the master of all three worlds. With this new confidence and arrogance, Mahishasura started planning to attack the gods. His strategy was clear. First, capture heaven, deprive the gods of their power, and then by spreading terror in all three worlds, declare himself the supreme ruler. He gathered his demon army, which was made up of thousands of powerful warriors. He had terrible weapons, and the morale of his army was very high. Then came the day when Mahishasura attacked heaven. This was no ordinary war. This was a fierce battle. The gods tried to fight with all their might. Devraj Indra struck with his thunderbolt. Other gods used their respective divine weapons. But Mahishasura's boon was very powerful. No man, no matter how powerful, could defeat him. The gods were defeated one by one. Mahishasura's power seemed invincible. His army broke down the gates of heaven and forced the gods to flee.
Eventually, Mahishasura captured heaven and established his authority there. He threw the gods out of heaven and sat himself on the throne of heaven. This was the most humiliating and terrible moment for the gods. The gods were now homeless, helpless. They had their powers, but due to Brahmaji's boon, they could not defeat Mahishasura. They became extremely worried and disappointed. The entire creation was in crisis. Mahishasura's terror was not limited to heaven alone. He also sent his demons to earth, who started troubling innocent people. Dharma and justice were in danger. In such a difficult situation, the gods decided that they would go to the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, and seek their help. All the gods reached the Trinity together and told them about the entire situation. They said, O Trinity, Mahishasura has captured heaven and he is committing atrocities throughout creation. We tried very hard to defeat him, but due to Brahmaji's boon, we cannot defeat him. Please help us. The Trinity seriously assessed the situation. They understood that this was an extraordinary circumstance. Lord Brahma said, I have given Mahishasura the boon that no man can kill him. This means that even the three of us cannot defeat him. Lord Vishnu replied, That is true, but every problem carries its own solution. Hidden within the boon is a possibility. Mahishasura can be destroyed only by the hands of a woman. Lord Shiva then said, In that case we must invoke a power in the form of a woman, one who contains within herself the strength of the entire universe. We have to call upon Adi Shakti. The Trinity agreed that only Adi Shakti could end Mahishasura. Then something miraculous happened. The Trinity and all the gods began to release their divine energies.
From Lord Shiva's forehead burst a dazzling radiance. From Lord Vishnu's heart flowed a brilliant light, and from Lord Brahma's hands shone a stream of sacred power. The other gods too contributed their unique strengths into this energy. All of these rays of power united at one point and formed a vast glowing sphere of light. It was so intense that the entire cosmos sparkled with its brilliance. From that light gradually emerged the resplendent form of a divine woman. Lord Brahma said, "I have given Mahishasura the boon that no man can kill him. This means that even the three of us cannot defeat him." Lord Vishnu replied, "That is true, but every problem carries its own solution. Hidden within the boon is a possibility. Mahishasura can be destroyed only by the hands of a woman." Lord Shiva then said, "In that case, we must invoke a power in the form of a woman, one who contains within herself the strength of the entire universe. We have to call upon Adi Shakti." The Trinity agreed that only Adi Shakti could end Mahishasura. Then something miraculous happened. The Trinity and all the gods began to release their divine energies. From Lord Shiva's forehead burst a dazzling radiance. From Lord Vishnu's heart flowed a brilliant light, and from Lord Brahma's hands shone a stream of sacred power. The other gods too contributed their unique strengths into this energy. All of these rays of power united at one point and formed a vast glowing sphere of light. It was so intense that the entire cosmos sparkled with its brilliance. From that light gradually emerged the resplendent form of a divine woman. Her form was so magnificent, so supernatural, and so radiant that for a moment the entire universe seemed to stop. All the gods were watching that divine form with wonder and reverence. From the radiance of Lord Shiva, the goddess's beautiful face was formed, in which both compassion and anger were reflected. From the radiance of Lord Vishnu, her 8 arms were formed, which were symbols of her various powers. From the radiance of other gods, her powerful and divine body was formed. The goddess's form was extremely beautiful, but at the same time fierce also. There was immense power in her eyes, there was firm determination on her face, and her mere presence was transmitting divine energy in the atmosphere. This goddess was none other than Adi Shakti herself, Mahamaya, Durga. After the goddess appeared, all the gods dedicated their most powerful divine weapons to her. Lord Shiva gave his trident, which was a symbol of the 3 qualities Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Lord Vishnu gave his Sudarshan Chakra, which was a symbol of protection of Dharma. Devraj Indra gave his Thunderbolt, which was a symbol of invincible power. Lord Ganesha offered a sharp-edged sword. Vayudev presented a mighty bow and arrows.
I can defeat
Brahmaji gave a sacred lotus. Varun Dev bestowed a conch. Vishwakarmaji placed in her hands a shining axe. Along with them, many other deities contributed their own divine weapons to the goddess. With all these celestial gifts, Goddess Durga became fully prepared to bring about the destruction of Mahishasura. Her 8 arms radiated with power, each holding a divine weapon. She was seated upon a lion, the eternal symbol of strength and courage. At last, the destined moment arrived. Goddess Durga appeared before Mahishasura to wage the great battle. When Mahishasura beheld her for the first time, he was struck with amazement at her radiant beauty. In his arrogance, he thought she was merely a woman, and defeating her would be effortless. But as the clash began, his illusion was shattered. Goddess Durga was no ordinary being. She was the embodiment of the boundless energy of the cosmos. Thus began the fierce war, a battle unlike any other, the ultimate conflict between righteousness and unrighteousness.
This war continued for 9 days continuously, and each day became more terrible. On the first day, Mahishasura sent his entire army against goddess Durga. Thousands of demon warriors armed with weapons fell upon the goddess. But goddess Durga was not alone. She had her power with her. She had her courage, and above all, she had the strength of dharma. The goddess started striking the demon army with her weapons. The divine weapons emerging from her 8 arms were shining as if thousands of lightnings were falling together. The demon warriors were defeated one by one. The goddess's trident, Sudarshan Chakra, Thunderbolt, all weapons were doing their work. The goddess's form on the battlefield was so magnificent and powerful that fear began to spread in the demon army. On the second and third days, Mahishasura sent his most powerful commanders into battle. These commanders were not ordinary warriors, but they were also extremely powerful demons who had won many wars. But they could not do anything against goddess Durga. The goddess defeated every commander with her intelligence, skill, and invincible power. When one after another his commanders were being killed, Mahishasura began to understand that this was not an ordinary woman. This was Adi Shakti incarnate. The battle of the 4th, 5th and 6th days became even more terrible. Mahishasura started displaying his full power. He used his special power, the power to change form. Sometimes he would take the form of a huge buffalo, whose power was immense. Sometimes he would become a fierce lion, whose roar would shake the entire battlefield. And sometimes he would become a huge elephant that would attack the goddess with its trunk. Sometimes he would fight in human form with a sword, and sometimes he would take the form of some other animal. His purpose was clear. He wanted to confuse goddess Durga. He wanted to frighten her. He wanted to make her realize that he was invincible. But goddess Durga was not an ordinary warrior. She was omniscient, omnipotent. Whatever form Mahishasura took, the goddess would understand his every move beforehand. She would be ready to defeat him every time. When Mahishasura became a buffalo, the goddess would strike him with her trident. When he became a lion, the goddess would wound him with her Sudarshan Chakra. When he became an elephant, the goddess would strike him with her thunderbolt. Every move of Mahishasura was failing. The goddess's patience, her skill, and her strategy were unmatched. On the 7th and 8th days, the war reached its peak. Now only Mahishasura remained. All his commanders had been killed. A large part of his army had been destroyed. But Mahishasura was not ready to accept defeat. His ego was not letting him accept that a woman could defeat him. He became more cruel, more terrible. His attacks became faster, his display of power more destructive. On the 9th day, the battle was so fierce that the entire sky filled with smoke and dust. The earth was trembling, high waves were rising in the ocean, winds were blowing at tremendous speed. It seemed as if nature itself was becoming a witness to this great war. There was a direct clash between Mahishasura and goddess Durga. Terrible strikes were happening from both sides. Mahishasura was constantly changing forms, using all his powers, but goddess Durga remained steadfast. Her determination never faltered. She understood that this wasn't merely a personal conflict. It was the timeless clash between righteousness and injustice. The ultimate confrontation between light and shadow. Should she fall, the very fabric of existence would unravel into disorder. Failure was simply not an option. Then arrived the 10th dawn, the day celebrated as Vijaya Dashami, the festival of triumph. As the first rays of sunlight touched the earth, the final battle commenced. Mahishasura, knowing his end could be near, unleashed his most terrifying form, a monstrous buffalo, immense as a mountain. His horns shone like polished blades, his eyes burned like twin flames, and dark smoke curled from his nostrils. With a roar that shook the sky and ground alike, he charged at the goddess. His cry was so fierce, even the heavens trembled. Yet Goddess Durga stood calm and composed, her expression lit with unbreakable will. She knew the time had come to bring an end to this reign of terror. As Mahishasura stormed toward her, she urged her lion into motion and vaulted onto the demon's enormous back. He bucked and raged, trying with all his force to throw her off, running wildly in every direction. But Durga held firm, steady, and radiant, her presence glowing with divine strength. Then came a decisive moment. Goddess Durga lifted Lord Shiva's Trishul, the most powerful weapon in all three worlds. With unstoppable force, she struck Mahishasura in the chest. The divine weapon pierced through, and his roar of agony echoed across the universe. Yet, the battle was not over. He still fought, sustained by the strength of his boon. The goddess then raised her Sudarshan Chakra and hurled it with immense speed. Spinning through the air, the radiant discus struck Mahishasura and brought him down. His colossal form collapsed to the ground, and at last, the long and dreadful war came to an end. Righteousness prevailed over unrighteousness. Good triumphed over evil. The moment Mahishasura was defeated, the universe rejoiced. The gods in heaven raised cries of victory. Flowers showered upon the earth. The skies cleared, and the sun shone with renewed brilliance. This triumph was not only the fall of Mahishasura, but also a celebration of feminine power, of righteousness, of truth. Goddess Durga demonstrated that strength knows no gender. A woman can be as powerful and often even more resolute than any man. Mahishasura's greatest mistake was to underestimate women. With her unmatched might, wisdom, and courage, Goddess Durga protected all three worlds. From that day, she came to be known as Mahishasur Mardini, the slayer of Mahishasura. But the story doesn't end here. What happened after the battle is equally important. When Mahishasura was slain, Goddess Durga was still in her fierce form. The intensity of the battle, 9 days of struggle with Mahishasura, and the display of such power, all this had brought the goddess to a terrible state. Her eyes were red with anger. There was a smile of victory on her face, but also the shadow of struggle's pain. The entire universe was trembling from her immense power. This form of the goddess was so fierce that even the gods became frightened. They felt that if the goddess remained in this form, this energy could affect the entire universe. The gods immediately made a decision. They resolved to pacify the goddess through prayers. This was the same hymn that came to be known as the Aigiri Nandini Stotra. This stotra was later composed in more elaborate form by the great Adi Shankaracharya through his deep penance and devotion. The gods began praising the goddess in unison. They sang of the goddess's valor, her courage, her power, and her compassion. They sang of how the goddess not only slayed Mahishasura, but saved the entire creation. They praised the goddess in the form of a mother, because only a mother can become so fierce to protect her children. The words of the hymn were so full of emotion, so full of devotion, that gradually peace began to return to Goddess Durga's face. Her anger began to diminish, her energy began to balance. She put down her weapons and blessed the gods with a compassionate smile. The goddess said, "I am pleased with all of your devotion. Whenever there is a crisis on creation, whenever adharma prevails, I will manifest again. This form of mine exists in all women. Every woman has that power which can stand against injustice, which can destroy adharma. You all remember this and respect feminine power." Saying this, the goddess gave the gods authority over heaven again. Dharma and justice were re-established in heaven. Peace also returned to earth. People breathed a sigh of relief. Liberation from Mahishasura's terror had been achieved. This great war created a new understanding not only on earth but also in the hearts of the gods. They saw that power lies not only in physical strength, but in resolve, courage, and adherence to dharma. Even today, when we celebrate Durga Puja, when we celebrate the festival of Navratri, we remember that same historical moment. The 9 days of Navratri are symbolic of those 9 days when goddess Durga fought against Mahishasura. On the first day, we worship the Shell Putri form of the goddess, who was born as the daughter of Himalaya, the king of mountains. On the second day, we worship the Brahmacharini form, which is the symbol of penance and restraint. On the third day, the Chandraghanta form is worshipped, which is the symbol of valor and courage. On the fourth day, the Kushmanda form is worshipped, which is the symbol of the power that creates the universe. On the fifth day, the Skand Mata form is worshipped, which is the symbol of motherly love and affection. On the sixth day, the Katyayani form is worshipped, which is the symbol of warfare skills and power. On the seventh day, the Kalaratri form is worshipped, which is the symbol of terrible and destructive power. On the eighth day, the Mahagauri form is worshipped, which is the symbol of peace and compassion. And on the ninth day, the Siddhidatri form is worshipped, which is the symbol of the power that grants all accomplishments. And then comes the 10th day, Vijayadashmi, or the Sehra. This is the day when goddess Durga finally slayed Mahishasura. This day is celebrated as victory. This is not just a festival, but it is a message. No matter how powerful evil may be, good ultimately triumphs. No matter how strong adharma may be, dharma defeats it. No matter how much injustice spreads, the victory of justice is certain. The story of Mahishasura also teaches us how dangerous arrogance can be. Mahishasura possessed immense power. He had a special boon, but his arrogance became the cause of his downfall. He thought he was invincible. He underestimated feminine power, and that was his biggest mistake. This story teaches us that no one should be considered weak, especially women.
This tale of goddess Durga is the greatest example of feminine power. It tells us that a woman has all the power that can save this world. She's a mother and also a warrior. She's compassionate and can also be fierce. She can give life and when necessary can also take life. This balance, this duality, this is the true identity of feminine power. In today's times when we talk about women's empowerment, we should remember that this is not a new concept. In our scriptures, in our mythological stories, this message has been given thousands of years ago. The tale of Mahishasur Mardini also teaches that there is strength in unity. When all the gods combined their respective powers, only then did the manifestation of goddess Durga become possible. This tells us that when we all work together, even the impossible becomes possible. Alone we may be weak, but together we can become invincible. This message is equally relevant in today's times. Another important aspect of this story is that the goddess not only slayed Mahishasur, but she saved the entire creation. This teaches us that when we fight against any evil, we don't fight only for ourselves, but for the entire society, for all of humanity. Every good deed, every just struggle affects the entire society.
Take a pause. The Aigiri Nandini Stotra, which holds the essence of this entire tale, is still sung by countless devotees today. Its verses are so powerful that simply listening to them fills the mind with renewed energy. This stotra praises the many divine powers of the goddess, she who overcame Mahishasura, she who is revered in all three worlds, she who is the compassionate mother and also Mahakali. It reminds us that the goddess manifests in many forms: Durga, Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati. Every form represents a unique power, yet the source of all forms is one, Adi Shakti. So friends, this was the story of Mahishasur Mardini. It is not just a tale from mythology, but one that carries deep lessons for our lives. First, no matter how strong negativity may seem, truth and goodness ultimately prevail. Second,
feminine energy is boundless and deserves our respect. Third, pride and arrogance always lead to downfall. Fourth, unity brings great strength. And finally, standing up for dharma and justice is always righteous, no matter how many challenges may arise.
This Navaratri, when you worship Goddess Durga, remember this story. Remember how the goddess saved the entire creation with courage, determination, and power. Adopt these qualities in your life as well. Whenever any difficulty comes, show courage like the goddess. Whenever there is any injustice, raise your voice against it. And always remember that the victory of good is certain. We just need to work with patience and firmness. This story also teaches us that misuse of boons or power never yields good results. Mahishasura had received a special boon from Brahmaji, but he used it to spread tyranny and terror. If he had used that same power for good deeds, perhaps his end would not have been so terrible. This reminds us that with power comes responsibility. When we have any special ability, resource, or authority, we should use it for the welfare of society, not to inflate our ego. In the character of Goddess Durga, we see another important quality: balance. On one hand, she is an extremely gentle and compassionate mother. But when it comes to protecting dharma, she assumes a fierce form. This balance is very necessary.
In life, we too should maintain this balance. We should show love, compassion, and kindness, but when someone attacks our values, our dharma, our rights, then we should face it firmly. This is not weakness but a symbol of strength. The event that occurred after the slaying of Mahishasur also gives us an important lesson. The goddess's anger was so fierce that even the gods themselves became frightened. But when the gods praised with love and devotion, the goddess became calm. This tells us that no matter how justified anger may be, it is necessary to control it. When we fight against any evil, we should be careful that we don't become part of the evil ourselves. Fighting for justice is necessary, but destroying oneself with the feeling of revenge is not appropriate. The goddess also chose the path of peace after the war, and that was the true victory. Another aspect of this tale which is often overlooked is the humility of the Trinity. When they could not defeat Mahishasur, they accepted their inability and invoked Adi Shakti. This teaches us that sometimes asking for help is not weakness, but wisdom. We don't have solutions to every problem, and accepting that we need assistance is a sign of a mature personality. The Trinity abandoned their ego and took shelter of the goddess, and only from this came the solution to the problem. The festival of Navratri is not limited to just worship and rituals. These 9 days give us an opportunity for self-reflection. Worshipping a different form of the goddess each day, we can also develop those qualities within ourselves. The Shailputri form teaches us stability, Brahmacharini teaches us penance and restraint, Chandraghanta gives us courage, Kushmanda is a symbol of creativity, Skandmata teaches motherly love, Katyayani gives warfare skills, Kalaratri gives the power to destroy fear, Mahagauri is a symbol of purity, and Siddhidatri grants all accomplishments. If we truly observe these 9 days with sincere heart and incorporate these qualities into our lives, we too can awaken the power within ourselves. The day of Vijayadashmi reminds us that every struggle has an end, and if we walk on the path of righteousness, victory is certain. On this day, people start new work, make new plans, because this day is a symbol of auspiciousness and victory. This tradition teaches us that in our lives too, we should continuously make new beginnings, abandon old evils, and walk on the path of goodness.
The story of Mahishasura Mardini is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Even today, there is injustice in our society. There is corruption, there is tyranny. All these are the Mahishasuras of modern times. And to fight against all of them, we have to become courageous like Goddess Durga. Every person has to recognize the power within themselves and stand against evil. Whether that person is a woman or a man, everyone has that divine power which can end injustice. What is needed is to awaken that power, to recognize that courage. The story of Goddess Durga also tells us that we should not be deceived by appearances.
Mahishasura saw the goddess and thought that she is an ordinary woman. But this very thinking of his became the reason for his defeat. Even in today's times, we often judge people by their outward appearance. If someone appears calm, we consider them weak. If someone is humble, we consider them naive. But this is a mistake. Immense power lies hidden within every person, and when the right time comes, that power manifests. Therefore, we should not underestimate anyone.
From this story, we also get the lesson that penance is certainly necessary to obtain boons or power. But more important than that is the proper use of that power. Mahishasur did severe penance and obtained a boon, but he misused it. Goddess Durga was also complete with penance and power, but she used her power for the protection of righteousness. This is the difference between a demon and a deity. Both may have power, but how it is used, that becomes their real identity. So friends, I hope you liked this detailed story of Mahishasur Mardini. This story is not just for hearing and forgetting, but many important lessons of life are hidden in it. I would like you to bring these messages into your life. Whenever you face any difficulty, remember the courage of Goddess Durga. Whenever you see injustice, show the courage to raise your voice against it. And always remember that goodness always wins, even if it takes time. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it and subscribe to this channel so you can keep watching more such inspiring stories. Also, share this video with your family and friends, especially with those who are interested in cultural and motivational stories. Let me know in the comments what lesson you learned from this story and how you will apply it in your life. I read all your comments and try to respond to them. During this festive time, when you take a moment for prayer or reflection, remember this story. Recite uplifting verses and feel the positive energy that flows. May it bless you with strength, courage and determination so you can overcome every challenge in your life. Always remember, strength is not only found in symbols or traditions, but also in every woman, every mother, every sister and every daughter. Respect them, support them and empower them, because when women are strong, the entire society becomes strong. In the next video, I will bring another beautiful story for you. Until then, take care of yourself and your loved ones, walk on the path of goodness and spread positivity. Thank you.